Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It's Joanna. These are going to be your messages for the month of December 2018. I'm going to make this very quick because I myself don't like long intros. Please remember that these are general messages. My intent is to give you something to think about, something to look at from a different perspective in order to help you gain clarity and ultimately that you can become a more empowered you. So rather than focusing on predictions, I am focusing on what may come up for you in the month of December and how some of these situations will allow you to see certain things and perhaps to create certain things for yourself that you have not been able to before. So I always intend on giving you as much information as I can in order to help you evolve. And how you take that information and how you apply it, or if you even consider it, that is entirely up to you. What I would encourage you to do is to listen to it at the end of the month, because these messages are really limitless or timeless. There is really the principles that I ask to give can be applied to really any sign in any situation. So it is important for you to listen with an open heart and an open mind and see how it can help you. Of course, listening to the other signs may offer you more guidance, and above all, don't take anything that I say as gospel. Listen with your heart and allow yourself to feel whether it resonates with you or not. Sometimes I will say things that may trigger you. If that happens, it's a good indication that something inside of you is wanting to say something. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Also, if you are interested in a Uranus projections, it's a 7-month projection. That information is down below on the Vimeo page. And let me see if there's anything else. Thank you, of course, always for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, and for private sessions, if that is what you wish. That information is down below. Thank you again so much. Have yourself a wonderful holiday season if you are practicing it or if you are celebrating it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, beautiful Cancerians. These are going to be your messages for December 2018. And let me first start off by saying that most of you who listen to this or who will listen to this are experiencing going through some sort of a completion. This could be as simple as completing a certain project to as complicated as completing a cycle of a relationship or a chapter of your life. For some of you, this is connecting to a month of February. And what this may mean that some of you will move in the new year. There are some decisions to be made, not for all of you, but for some of you. And some of those decisions are small, some of those decisions are bigger. Some of those decisions are around direction and some are around location, physically speaking. So there is definitely a move that is likely going to happen for majority of you who are listening to it. And this could be also a move pertaining to the way you feel about yourself. Your energy shifts, your energy moves, and things start feeling different, or things start looking different to you. But I'm going to just let that go. I heard the words termination of current employment is highly advisable. Clearly, they're not saying quit your jobs, everybody. This is for those of you who are contemplating a choice or decision around a current career or a current job. And this is for those of you who have been contemplating this for quite some time. For some of you, it started last year, as in 2017. And for some of you, this is somehow connected to July. Perhaps there are some changes at work and you are trying to figure out what to do with your finances or around your finances prior to or in order to move forward. So that will be for some of you, obviously not for all of you. for some of you, if there is something in your life that's driving you crazy or insane, you need to ask yourself this question. If it is so bad for me, why do I continue to do it? This is going to apply to some of you around relationships. For some of you, this is going to be in regards to what you do for a living or how you spend your time. Chances are, if there are some things in your life that are driving you crazy and they're not good for you, and you keep on continuing that, you might want to ask yourself the reason why is it so important to you. Because there's a lot of messages here that talk about fears and doing things seemingly with good intentions but actually interfering because of fear. Chances are that's what I'm tapping into. Okay, so let's move. Somehow February is important for you guys. For some of you, obviously, not for all of you. So whatever February, just kind of mark it in your calendar. I feel some of you, there will be a significant shift or move around the month of February. All right, so two energies that represent the month of December. You have the message of encouragement, and you have the message of making a choice. So again, this is signifying to me an end of a cycle, and the encouragement card is a message that asks you to step into your own power. It is a message that says you are ready, and it is a message that says we are here supporting you and help you in every which way. So in the month of December is a good time for you to look at where you give your power away or where you overspend your resources, which could also be money, and what is in your life that's causing you to feel perhaps emotionally not very stable. And because there seems to be a choice that you are making, it is important for you to make a choice from a place of stillness versus a place of hastiness or hesitation. I feel many of you are stepping into your own skin. That may translate itself to actually having a brand new job, feeling obviously different about yourself, taking a whole new health regimen, or, moving on from a situation. There is an absolute new beginning for many of you in various ways. When it comes to stepping into your power, it means releasing the ego-based fears that have been preventing you from exercising your power, because you always have it. And it feels like in the month of December, it would be wise for you to remember that you are always very powerful. It's just that something in your life is preventing you from seeing it. Chances are, with making a choice, it is to do with a commitment, either a commitment you have to yourself, commitment you have to another, or a commitment you have to a work or a situation or a project. If perhaps you stepping into your skin means I choose to no longer do this, I'm now choosing to do something different. I feel a lot of you need to take chances, and chances in a way that are, that work. In other words, don't go hastily do things that you'll later regret. Make calculated calculated choices. Take risks. And this is not taking risks for the sake of taking risks. This is taking risks in order to see yourself succeed. And whether, again, it's marriage or whether it's relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it is, if there is something in your current life that is not allowing you to step into your own power, you need to ask yourself the question why and decide accordingly. So that's what the energy is for the month of December. It's a little bit like saying, hey, New Year is coming. What are your New Year's resolutions? Some of you may do that, some of you may not. But oftentimes we ask ourselves the question, what's going to happen next year? What do I see myself doing next year? And for many of you, it is important that you put on your list of wants and wishes as you being the priority in your life. And that means that you have to think of yourself as important enough in order to be able to achieve it. And this is a very important distinction here that's being made, because if we do not feel important enough, we will have a tendency to cling to old things. Now, why would we do that? Because if we don't believe in ourselves enough, we won't take chances to prove ourselves differently. Very, very interesting. So, what are some of the energies that you need to leave behind? Or what are some of the things that you need to leave behind? Good intentions is one, and there's primal fear. So this is not saying leave good intentions in the past. This is saying, what are some of the things that you do seemingly with good intentions, but they really serve you in a way that because you're very scared? And I'm being asked to give an example. Let's say, what's the best example that I could give? Let's say you have a child, and you end up helping this child, and this child ends up growing up being 20s, 30s, and you still keep helping your child in a way as if he was an infant. In other words, you do most things for him, you care for him, and in your understanding, you're doing a good thing. You're being a mother, you're being loving, you're being kind, you're being a great person. Well, too much of anything is not good, so too much of love isn't good either. Obviously, I'm not saying too much of loving, but in this example, this particular person, more likely than not, is doing the caring for her adult child as a way of preventing being alone. So that's what that message is. It is about you looking in your life and asking yourself, what are some of the things that I do in order to keep me safe? And that's how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to leave it. Obviously, we all want to be safe. Obviously, we all want to make sure that we live in conditions where we feel safe, happy. Oh, that's not the question here. The question here is, what do you do to keep yourself safe? And look how those intentions are aligned with your life. In other words, the example I just gave, be very open about some things that you do that actually may interfere with things, or create things that are not very good down the road, all because you're trying to prevent yourself from some sort of a fear. Now, because you have a primal fear coming up, this is all about hanging on. We hang on to things for dear life, well, because we feel it's safe. Now, because the encouragement message is the first runner, so to speak, for December, chances are that the universe is asking you to step into your own skin precisely because you do things out of fear. This is not asking you to disregard there are fearful things in life. This is asking you to pay attention what you focus more on, the fear or the other. It is not about one or the other exclusively. It is a blend of both, and you have to decide what that is for you in a way that allows you to live a healthy, prosperous life that feels good to you. I want to give another example of good intentions. Sometimes we do things for other people in the pretense that it's our good intentions, we want to help, but again, we're helping because when we do things for others, it makes us feel safe, or it makes us feel loved. And obviously we all want that, but when there is an agenda behind something that's seemingly a good intention, that's a whole different story. And I think I'm going to stop at that because I feel I could just be now repeating myself. Solar consciousness is a message that basically says, connect with your higher self more often. For those of you who don't have a connection with your higher self, create one. Now, I'm being asked to define what I mean by higher self. So, whatever that means to you, it makes no difference. Point is, it is about cultivating a relationship with yourself when you can hear your own inner voice. Every single human has it. We're all equipped with it. We are not always taught how to use it or to even trust it or even know that it exists. And when you begin to have a healthier relationship with you, which also means stepping into your own skin and feeling good about your own skin, you begin to have an inner dialogue with yourself that helps and guides you going forward, because your soul speaks through your intuition. Your intuition is your inner voice. It's also a feeling. So cultivating a honest relationship with yourself allows you to step into your power, as I said, but also to take more chances at life. The gardener, is it a gardener? Gatherer. I asked for this card as a message. What message? What is the message you want to give to them? And the message here is, many of you have everything you need in order to be happy. Perhaps it is not what it is you're after outside of you, but perhaps it's something inside of you that is missing, that's not making you happy. So I feel like many of you need to focus on the abundance that you already have. And yes, we all have things we don't care about and we would rather not have. But focusing on those things, for the most part, does not allow us to enjoy the good things in life. And energetically speaking, it primes us to feel a certain way, which will then evoke a certain energy or a certain vibration, which in turn will attract like vibration. So the simple message here is, if I may call it that way, be grateful for what you have. Now, some of you may not have many things, and that's how you may feel. And that is obviously, if that's true for you, that's true for you. But you have to be able to find something, at least one thing that you are grateful for. And perhaps the fact that you're even able to listen to this, that you have the equipment and you have the connection and you have the internet, that is something to be grateful for. Two more cards, regular tarot. Excuse me. You have the Emperor and then there's Page of Wands in reverse. There's few things here. Some of you, the way the energies are going to affect you is the way you feel about yourself in a current job situation or in a relationship. Okay? Perhaps you don't feel at home in your own home. And that's often a sign of not feeling good in your own skin or not feeling at home in your own skin. Again, the encouragement message talks all about you being encouraged to step into your own skin, to own who you are. The Page of Wands to me suggests several things. One, yes, for some of you, it is an end of a job or a career. For some of you, this is an end of a relationship. But for others, it's also about taking risks in starting new jobs, starting new careers, starting new relationships. Obviously, if you are happy where you are, this message is not for you. Perhaps this will affect you somewhere else, in a relationship or somewhere else. But this is all about, how do you feel about you? Emperor is a person who is in charge of his or her domain. It's not only his castle, it's his whole congregation, if I can call it that way. And that person has to feel solid, otherwise people will not believe in him. So when I asked for advice with this card and the Emperor showed up, the message here is, again, step into your own skin, because this is you. Now, this could be stepping into your own skin with regards to you owning yourself and therefore allowing yourself to express differently in a career, or you stepping into your skin and shifting how you are in a relationship, and the relationship will shift as a result. So there's various ways this is going to affect different people. Point is, if things have not been going particularly well, or if there are some areas in your life where things have been stagnating or there has been no movement, the month of December, you are being encouraged to step out of your box, to step out of your comfort zone, to step out of your resistance mode. And sometimes the resistance is obvious, sometimes the resistance is not as obvious. For example, if we do things out of fear, pretending to be helping, but we're really doing it because we're terrified, that's one example. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that every time you help somebody, there is some things that you're fearful about. No, I'm not saying that. Not at all. But this would be a pattern. And if that's the case, it's important for you to see it. So obviously this is going to affect your emotions. You are also being encouraged to feel your emotions. And I speak to many people on daily basis, and it is very apparent to me, even as a therapist, that many people I speak with, at least, can't feel, don't want to feel, or don't know how to feel. That leads to suppression of emotions, and we already know what happens then. So we don't want to encourage that. For some of you, your way of controlling the environment or your situation is by being passive-aggressive. If you have a tendency towards being passive-aggressive, ask yourself why that is, because it's a form of control. And when we have primal fears constantly running in the back of our minds, we will definitely want to be very, very controlled. Now, control usually isn't something that stems from a very, very solid, very emotionally and mentally balanced person. It usually stems from a person who emotionally does not feel in control, or at least hasn't at some point. And always remember this: freedom comes from the way you feel inside. So if some of you are feeling stuck or imprisoned, it is because of the way you feel in a certain situation. So you either change the situation, if you can, how you can, or change how you're looking at it. And either one of these will offer you different options. And I think with that, I want to leave it at that. Seems to be a month of letting go, but in all honesty, this is the last sign, I think. Every single sign has got a similar message, and I think it just has to do something with the end of the year and the full moons that we're having and all that kind of stuff, which all denotes completion. Okay, I wish you best of luck. Take care of yourself. Listen to this at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month, and always remember, this is meant to be guidance only. And listen with your heart and notice if any of these can be applied in your life. And with that said, thank you so much once again, and take care. Bye-bye.